My sister told me there was a fire in the building and that she had already left their flat. I could tell by her voice she was scared and anxious. I knew something was terribly wrong, and I told her to get the hell out of the building. I remember running so fast towards Grenfell Tower, yet it felt so slow. While on the phone to me, Mariem started to calm down and remain patient. She was waiting to be rescued. There were many times I thought about running inside, but it was clear this would have been suicide. She never mentioned she could see fire, but it was clear she knew it was coming. I can only presume, based on the person I knew her to be, she was trying to keep my mum calm. It was not only Mariem and my mum that passed away on that night. I actually felt like my father died again. And a large part of our life, the important memories were wiped out, erased in a matter of minutes. I told her, whatever you do, keep the phone line open. It was my way of being there with them. I mean, what else could I do? As fearless as she was, I knew she had a decision to make that final night. I believed she could have made it out, but I knew she would never leave our mum. On my final call with Mariem, despite her suffering, despite her gradual deterioration, despite her loss of consciousness, she persisted in letting me know that she was still there. She started fading away from me, rather rapidly, but she kept going all the way until she was no longer audible. She started to mumble, started banging the floor, and then finally no longer responsive. It was at this point I presumed that I'd lost my mum at the same time. But then about 20 seconds later, for the first time that early morning, I heard my mum's voice. She was struggling for breath and said her last words, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe." That was the last time I heard her voice. I remained on the phone, and all I could hear shortly afterwards was the crackling of the fire penetrating the windows. Fire, violent fire, strong enough to shift the kitchen equipment, while I was outside listening and looking up helplessly. My mum and my sister were murdered and cremated on the 14th of June last year. To be more specific, my mum and sister were poisoned by the smoke. They were burnt. They were cremated. I had to listen to them suffer, and I had to listen to them die. I had to watch Grenfell Tower burn for a couple of days, but particularly the top floors. If that's not torture, then I'm not really sure what else is.